All right, today we're jumping into a huge topic, one that has confused and hurt people forever. Why do people who are in committed relationships cheat? We're going to break down a really fascinating perspective from a popular video that sorts the reasons into some thought-provoking categories. Let's get right into it. So, this whole analysis really boils down to one central, very complicated question. And honestly, it's a question I bet a lot of you have thought about at some point. And here it is. Why do people who've promised to spend their life with one person end up looking for a connection or intimacy or something else outside of their marriage? The source we're digging into today has some pretty surprising answers, and it splits them into a few key groups. Okay, so the first reason laid out is, well, it's probably the most controversial one. The argument here is that for some people, cheating has absolutely nothing to do with their marriage. Nope, it's about something deep inside them, part of their fundamental nature. And to really get this point, we have to understand a key word the source uses, fitat. It's a Hindi term that means your core nature, your character, your disposition. Think of it like something that's just baked into your personality, something you can't really change. So here's the kicker. According to the person who made this video, some people's fitat is just wired for more than one partner. It's not something that happens because of the marriage. It was there before they said I do, and it's still there after. And it gets even more specific. The source actually splits this fitat group into two types. First, you've got the hidden nature person. They're the ones who act like the perfect loyal partner, but are having secret affairs. Then you've got the open nature person. They're totally upfront about it. They'll literally tell their partner, look, this is who I am, take it or leave it. Okay, so that's the inherent nature argument. But what if that's not it? The next big category flips the script and looks at what might be going wrong inside the marriage itself. We're talking about unfulfilled needs. The thinking here is pretty simple, right? If you're not getting what you fundamentally need at home, you might start looking for it somewhere else. And the source breaks these needs down into two main buckets. First up, physical needs. This one's pretty self-explanatory. We're talking about a lack of physical intimacy or satisfaction in the relationship. When that core part of the marriage is missing, the argument goes, the temptation to find it with someone else can become, well, pretty strong. Then there's the second category, and this one is huge. Emotional needs. This is all about feeling loved and cared for and appreciated. You know, if you start to feel like your partner is boring or that emotional connection just isn't there anymore, that's when someone might start looking for that spark, that feeling of being truly seen and valued with somebody new. All right, so we've covered what's inside a person, their nature, and what's inside a marriage, unfulfilled needs. But what about everything else? The stuff happening outside the home? The source says there are some really powerful external pressures too. Yeah, we're talking about social and cultural stuff. The source uses this great term, time pass, which basically means doing something just to kill time because you're bored. So an affair could just be a way to escape a dull life. Or maybe it's seen as a modern trend. And of course, there's good old peer pressure, being around friends who make it all seem normal. And to explain that peer pressure idea, the source uses this absolutely brilliant analogy. Imagine your friends saying, hey, what's so great about home-cooked lentils? You should go have some biryani. See what that does? It frames your steady, reliable marriage as boring old lentils and the affair as this exciting, spicy biryani. It's a really powerful way to put it. So after laying out all these reasons why things go wrong, the source kind of changes direction. It starts talking about expectations and maybe even a path to a resolution. What kind of mindset helps you avoid all this? And it really comes down to one thing, expectations. The main point here is that expecting your marriage to be a perfect 10 out of 10 all the time isn't just a fantasy, it can actually be a really destructive way to think. So what's the alternative? Well, the source suggests aiming for a 5 or 6 out of 10. Now, that might not sound amazing, but the idea is that a 5 or 6 can be a really solid, happy foundation for a life. It's about being content with what's good enough, you know, instead of always chasing this impossible ideal. And that's the key connection. According to this take, it's the people who can't accept a 5 or 6 who get into trouble. They're constantly trying to find those missing 4 or 5 points somewhere else. And that endless search for a perfect 10 can lead them right down the path to an affair. Okay, so what should someone do if they're feeling this way? Before taking a huge, life-altering step, the source lays out a pretty clear 3-step plan. Number 1, communicate. Just talk to your partner. Maybe it's all a big misunderstanding. Number 2, adjust. Try to compromise instead of demanding perfection. And number 3, and this is a big one, consider the consequences. Really think about the devastating impact an affair could have on your entire family, especially the kids. And all of this really leaves us with one final, very tough question. It's kind of the heart of the whole matter, isn't it? Where do you draw the line between your own personal happiness and the commitment you made to your partner? There are no easy answers there, that's for sure. Thanks for digging into this with us.